Okay, so today we're going to be doing restorative yoga. So it's all going to be on the floor. We're not like standing or balancing. It's a little bit like yin yoga. You usually do like 4 to 5 minute holds of posture, working into connective tissue. For this class, the first half, there's going to be more movement. And the second half, then we'll do some like longer holds of postures. I'll try to give modifications for every posture. And if you ever have like a question, you're welcome to type it into the chat box or just like unmute yourself and ask a question. All right, sweet. So we will actually start with a breathing exercise called triangle breathing. So sit in a comfortable position. You can sit like crisscross applesauce or with your legs out. You can always like have a towel or a pillow behind you to kind of support your back. Oh, and I should also say, I got some requests today for wrist stretches, lower back and neck stretches. So we will be focusing a lot on that stuff. But again, we'll just start with a breathing exercise called triangle breathing. So you'll inhale for 4 seconds. You're gonna hold the inhale for 4 seconds. Then you'll exhale for 4 seconds. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold the exhale for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. So it's an inhale, hold, and then an exhale, and then an inhale, hold, and then an exhale. So forming a triangle in your mind. It should never be restrictive. So if you need to go at a different pace to make it comfortable for you, that's great. It's meant to draw your awareness towards your breath because you do have to focus a little bit on it to notice when you're holding and when you're inhaling and exhaling. And through drawing awareness to breath and through slowly inhaling and exhaling through the nose, we can actually start to like calm our central nervous system. So it's good for stress release, which is pretty cool. So you can, again, sit in a comfortable position, sit upright. You can close your eyes or keep your eyes open or have like, eyes half closed, gazing just beyond the tip of your nose. No real right or wrong here. I'll count you through a few and then we'll continue in silence together. So take a second, exhale completely. And then inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly exhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowing down. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowing down. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll continue in stillness for another minute at your own pace. You can slow down or speed up. As you breathe, notice any tension in your shoulders, belly, or jaw. See if you can sit upright without clenching the stomach or tensing the jaw or shoulders. I'll do 3 more rounds together. And as you're ready, returning your breath to normal. So a lot of yoga is just an opportunity to check in and notice. Sometimes in our day-to-day life when we're, running around, even if it's just within our own apartment, we don't really notice like how we're carrying ourselves, or we don't notice like how, our mind is moving. So yoga is just an opportunity to notice, like, maybe you thought you were really, having a bad day, but you noticed that actually like you can breathe kind of normally right now. Or maybe you thought you had it all under control and you're noticing that it's really hard to sit still right now. And that's okay. Just like congratulate yourself for taking time to notice rather than judging what you're noticing. So from here, we're going to start with a gentle neck stretch and side stretch. So again, sitting in a comfortable position, whatever that means for you. Again, you can have like towels or pillows underneath you or behind you to support you. We're just going to start. Notice that I'm not mirroring you. So when I say move your head to the right, it's going to look like you're moving your head. I'm moving my head to the left. Okay. So you're going to stretch up out of the crown of your head. And then as you're ready, bring your right ear to your right shoulder, getting a gentle stretch along the left side body. Noticing if one shoulder is way higher than the other, try to drop the shoulders away from the ears. We'll just hold here, a gentle stretch. And you can close your eyes or have a soft gaze. Breathing in and out through the nose. So when we breathe through the nose, we tell the central nervous system that there's no need to fight, flight, or freeze. So by breathing through the nose throughout class, we're calming the parasympathetic nervous system. This is, breathing techniques, pranayama, breath control has been practiced in yoga for a long time, thousands of years. But only now are we starting to do like controlled Western medicine studies on it. So it's kind of cool that more and more there's like scientific studies showing how this helps to calm our reaction to fight or flight just by breathing slowly with a little bit of consciousness through the nose. As you're ready, you're going to roll your chin down to center. So a gentle compression to the throat and a nice stretch along the back of the neck. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. You can look down towards your chest, or again, close your eyes. So in yoga, there's points where you will be holding tension in certain parts of your body, right? Like I am sitting upright. But you also might notice that there's other parts of your body tensing up that actually don't need to be tense. So notice if you're like clenching your fists or like your toes are, curling up, and see if you can relax the belly, the shoulders, the hands, the feet a little bit more. Okay, and as you're ready, we'll roll to the left. So left ear to left shoulder. Nice stretch along the right side body. And you might notice that this side feels a little different or a lot different from the other side. Another thing to keep in mind is that we're not symmetrical. You might know why you're not symmetrical, like a past surgery, illness, or injury. You might not have also, like, it's possible you didn't realize until just now that your right shoulder is way tighter than your left shoulder today. And again, it's just an opportunity to check in. Sometimes yoga teachers will tell you stuff like, do yoga, it'll make you symmetrical. But I always say, if somebody tells you that yoga will make you symmetrical, run, because they're lying. Your two eyes will never be the same shape. It's kind of part of what makes you special, right? We're not butterflies, we're perfectly imperfect. So yoga is kind of like the serenity prayer. It's like granting us the opportunity to fix stuff that we can fix, but also granting us the opportunity to like let go of the fact that one knee might always be tighter than the other, and that's okay. All right, as you're ready, rolling back through center, chin to chest. And then slowly roll back up. This time we'll get the arms involved. So have your right hand to the right side of your body and just lift your left arm up. Gentle stretch along the whole left side of the body. Drop the shoulders down. I always have to remind myself to do that. You can look straight ahead or even up to the ceiling. And noticing how you're breathing, noticing any tension in the chest, shoulders, jaw. Okay, we're gonna sweep the right arm down to the floor, rolling forward. Put your, left hand down to the floor. Put your left hand on the left side body, and this side, lift your right arm up. Again, dropping the shoulders down, lifting the chest up. You can look straight ahead or up towards the ceiling. Gentle stretch along the right side body. This yoga is never meant to be performative. That's actually one of the things I really like about Zoom yoga is, we're not, hopefully not comparing ourselves to the person next to us. So there really is nothing to prove. You don't have to go very far in any of these movements to receive a stretch. It's called restorative yoga. So always view it from the idea of like what's going to restore your body. Okay, as you're ready, sweeping your right hand down to the floor, and this time placing both hands on the floor in front of you. So back up a little bit. Placing your hands on the floor, just drop your head, shoulders away from the ears. Okay, good. And as you're ready, walk your hands back towards your body and slowly roll back up to center. Awesome. So next we'll do cat-cow, which you may have done before. I got a request for wrist stretches, especially for those of you who are like typing or texting a lot these days. So we're gonna do variations of cat-cow that'll move your wrists and create wrist mobility. So you're gonna come to tabletop position. I'll show you from the front and from the side. So you're on your hands and knees with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And the idea is to make a cat and a cow shape. So for cow, you're dropping your belly down like udders, looking up towards the ceiling, sticking your butt out, opening the chest, squeezing shoulder blades together, moo. And then for cat, you're gonna round your spine like a Halloween cat on a pumpkin carving. So tucking the tailbone towards the hips, spreading the shoulders wide, pull your belly in, draw your chin to your chest. Inhale, dropping your belly down, looking up towards the ceiling, rolling shoulders away from your ears, stick your butt out. Exhale, pull your belly in, cat pose. So try to bring the ribs and hips closer together. Push the floor away from you. Try to create space between shoulder blades, scapula, pull the belly in. One more time, inhale, cow, moo. Exhale, cat. So we're moving the spine, moving the shoulders. Okay, next we're gonna take our hands out to the side. Let me move this camera just a little bit. We're gonna take our hands out to the side. So this time, wrists inside, fingers inside. And we're gonna do the same movement. As you inhale, looking up, belly down, chest up. And as you exhale, drawing the belly in, rounding the spine. You might need to bend the elbows here. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, tucking tailbone, rounding spine, looking towards the belly button. One more time, inhale, looking up, chest up, shoulders back away from the ears, stick your butt up. Exhale, pull your belly in, tuck tailbone under, round the spine. Coming back to neutral. Okay, here's where it starts to get fun. This time, you're gonna try and flip your palms. So wrists facing the front of your mat, fingers facing towards your knees. Again, you might need to bend the elbows a little bit here. Okay, ready? Inhale, looking up. So fun. Exhale, pulling the belly and rounding the spine. Inhale, drop your belly, let your stomach relax, back bend. Exhale, hips forward, shoulders away from each other, round your spine. One more time, inhale, chest forward, shoulders over, stick your butt up, look up. Exhale, pull your belly in, round your spine. Coming back to neutral. Okay, this is where it gets really fun. This time you're gonna flip your palms so your palms face the ceiling, fingers pointing towards you, and you might need to bend the elbows out a lot or bring a little bit more weight back towards your knees, okay? So eventually like this, but again, elbows might bend or you might need to bring a little bit more weight back. Okay, inhale, belly down, chest up. If your wrists are burning, good. Exhale, tuck your tailbone around the spine. Again, you can bend the elbows out. Inhale, belly down, chest up, move. More fun when you pretend you're a cow. Exhale, meow, tuck your chin to chest around your spine. One more time. Inhale, chest up, belly down, stick your butt up, back bend, squeeze shoulders together, open your chest, your throat. Exhale, pull your belly in, try to bring the hips forward, shoulders apart. Okay, back to neutral. Last part, this is where it gets really fun. Try to make fists, and if you're like, no way in hell, that's really normal. Do this a couple times every day, and eventually you can even make fists. So you're getting a lot of control here. Again, you can bend the elbows out. Ready? Here we go. Inhale. So sometimes we don't even realize where we're tight until we have the opportunity to move into that space. Exhale, round the spine, cat. Inhale, back bend, cow. Exhale, chin to chest. Cat. Last one. Inhale, back bend, looking up. And exhale, tucking tailbone under, round the spine, squeeze the throat. Good, back to neutral. Okay, you can sit down, and then we're just gonna like move out the wrists a little bit. So again, if you were like, wow, that was really intense, you are not alone. The first time I tried to do that, it was quite intense for me too. But you know, the cool thing is like the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? So it takes like 5 minutes, something you can do every day. Okay, so we just stretched the wrists. Now we're gonna stretch the toes, and especially for those of you who are like sitting down a lot these days, we're gonna do a toe stretch here, where you're gonna try and take your toes underneath and then sit on your heels. You wanna flip your pinky toes out. If again, this is something where you're like, no way in hell, perfectly fine. You can have your hands on the floor in front of you. Do try to tuck the toes under. You can also have your knees apart. And for those of you like where this is easy, you wanna keep the heels together, and eventually you can lift your knees off the floor. Okay, doesn't have to be today. So just a gentle stretch, or maybe intense stretch to the tops of your feet. So I'm working into toe tightness. Sometimes when we think about yoga, we think like arm balance and backward bend and balancing on a leg, but it really is like full body, like awareness and eventually control, right? So even stretching out joints, we don't think about like wrists or knuckles or toes. Again, you can come forward or lean back or lift your knees. Try to squeeze your heels together. Relax the shoulders. Again, if you're feeling like an intense stretch in your toes, I'm right there with you. Sometimes when we feel intensity somewhere, we try to like tense up somewhere else. So keep the shoulders down, jaw relaxed. Take one more slow inhale and slow exhale. Good, everybody coming onto all fours, and this time just like tap out your toes. So that should feel good. My downstairs neighbor is probably like, what's going on here? So just tapping out the feet. Okay, great. From here, we're gonna do thread the needle, and I'll show you another variation of thread the needle is not happening today. So again, I'm not mirroring you. Look at your right hand, look at your left hand, keep your left hand on the floor. As you inhale, lift your right arm up to the ceiling, look up. As you exhale, think about threading a needle. So right hand through left arm and left knee. Drop the right shoulder down to the floor, look to left side of room. You wanna stack hips over knees. You can keep your left hand on the floor in front of you. You can also lift the left arm up and wrap it around for a half bind. Now, if you're going, no way, just sit in a comfortable position, and for a shoulder stretch, you just straighten your right arm and then bend the left arm like so, making a figure four with your arms. Again, you can be seated doing this or threading the needle. Feel nice opening through the shoulder, looking to the left side of the room. Try to keep right hip over right knee and left hip over left knee. So notice if all of your weight's sinking into like one knee or if your hips are moving to one side of the room. Okay, to release out, if you have the bind, you're gonna lift your left arm up to the ceiling, put your left hand on the floor, and then everybody together, inhale, unthread the needle, lift your right arm up, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your right hand down to the floor. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. So inhale, lift your left arm up, look up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle. So left arm through right arm and right knee. Left ear on the floor, looking to the right side of the room. You can stay here. You can also lift your right arm up and wrap it around, trying to grab your left thigh with your right hand for a bind and a little bit more of a chest opener. And again, if that's not happening today, no problem. You can sit in a comfortable position, straighten your left arm to the right side of your body, bend your right arm up for a nice shoulder stretch, figure four. Noticing if all the weight's in one knee. Try to even out hips over knees. Okay, good. And if you have the bind with your right hand on your left thigh, you're gonna lift your right arm back up and then place your right hand down on the floor by your head. And then everybody together, unthreading the needle. Inhale, unthread the needle, left arm up to the ceiling, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, drop your hand back down to the floor into tabletop. Very nice. So from here, we're gonna go into child's pose. So you're going to sink your hips down onto your heels and just have your arms forward. You can also be in what's called fetus pose with your arms down by your side. I like that distinction. This is something where if you'd like, you can have like a pillow on the floor between your head. You can relax a little bit more. And know that if you have like really tight lower body, you can also have a blanket under your knees or under your toes or in between your thighs and knees. So lots of options. And you can have something under your head. You can have something under your knees or between knees and hips. Then you just want to stretch through the lower back. And we'll just hang out here. As you inhale, open your rib cage and really feel this like expansiveness in your spine. And as you exhale, let your shoulders relax. Maybe sink the hips down a little bit more towards the heels, or if it's getting quite intense, you can lift the hips up more. You can try opening your knees more, closing the feet more. You can have your arms again in front of you or down by your sides. So a lot of times in yoga, we feel like, if we start in one position, we have to end there as well. If something like hurts or isn't serving you, or it's too intense, or it's like you don't feel anything, remember that you can change it. One thing we are learning to discern is the difference between I need to change my position right now because like it's hurting or it's not serving me versus I need to fix my shorts because I really need to distract myself, right? So there's one thing to be like constantly moving around, the inability to sit still. I'm right there with you. That's why I practice yoga. But there is another side of that where like if something doesn't feel right, switch it up, right? You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be in pain. Let's take 3 more slow breaths together. Okay, good. And as you're ready, put your hands under your shoulders and carefully, slowly push yourself up. Nice. From here, we're going to go into a belly savasana, and I'll give you a couple different options. So you're welcome to bend your elbows out and your hands in and just drop your head so your neck is long. You can also use a pillow. And you can also look to the right, so left ear on the towel, or look to the left, right ear on the towel. We'll hold here for a minute, and if you are looking to right or left, I'll tell you at the halfway point so you can switch to looking to the other side. Send deep belly breaths in and out through your nose to massage the front of your body. Breathe deep into any point of tension. Let the floor hold you up. Okay, as you're ready, if you were looking to one side, switch your head to the other side to even out the neck shoulder stretch. Otherwise, just still looking down towards the floor, shoulders away from the ears, neck long. Sink your hips, shoulders, chest down just a little deeper. Let your hands and feet be heavy. Okay, good. And slowly coming back up. So next we'll do Sphinx pose, and I'll give you a bunch of different options for Sphinx pose. So if you picture, a Sphinx in Egypt or Las Vegas, depending on the kind of person you are, it's the idea of elbows under shoulders, back. So it's a little bit of a lower back bend. Okay. You can have your elbows directly under your shoulders. You can walk them forward more. You can squeeze your butt and really push down. Okay, if it feels good, you can let your chest come forward, but do try to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Know that you can also bring your elbows together, bring your hands together. So palms can be facing in or palms can be facing the floor. If you are recently pregnant, breastfeeding, if you have abdominal injuries and being on your stomach does not feel good, you can also create a bolster under your hips and then let your belly be down so that your belly has room to hang rather than being flat on the floor. Okay. And you can also use pillows in front of you, like under your armpits, so that there's a little bit more of a back bend, but also you're taking weight away from the shoulders, especially if you have rotator cuff injuries. You're welcome to have some sort of prop underneath your chest. If none of this works and you're close to a wall, which I'm not really, but you can also do it standing, making elbows on the wall. The idea is it's a lower back bend. Okay. Again, shoulders away from the ears. You can activate the legs, so strong legs, especially to take weight away from the shoulders and chest. You can also let your feet kind of relax here. There's no right or wrong. We'll hold here for another minute. So, when we think about sphinxes, right, they tell riddles. And one of the things that I love about yoga is, so a friend of mine says, yoga gives you answers, but then you get to ask the questions. So right now, we're doing Sphinx pose, right? That is the answer, quote unquote, but then you get to ask interesting questions like, wow, why is this really bothering my shoulders? Or why don't I feel anything? Or how can I get a little bit deeper into this? Why is my mind wandering? Why does this feel so good? I've never done this before, stuff like that. So just gives you some opportunities to kind of ask yourself some fun questions, which I always like. Okay, good. So we're gonna lower back down into belly savasana. Again, you can have your elbows out and your hands in. You can also look to the right, to the left, and you're also welcome to have your arms down by your sides. Maybe if first set you looked right and left, maybe this time, you'll look down, or you can do the same thing or vice versa. So it's up to you. Again, we'll do a minute here, and I'll tell you halfway through for those of you looking right or left, so you can even out your neck and shoulders. Let your chest soften. Let the floor hold you up. And I should also mention, if lying on, I should have said this earlier, if lying on your stomach doesn't feel good, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or have an abdominal injury, you're welcome to do this on your back in traditional savasana, just lying on your back. Sorry, I didn't say that the first time. Okay, if you're looking to one side, flip to the other side. Good, okay. So from here, we're gonna do one more little like back strengthener stretch, and then we'll lie on our back for the rest of class. So it's a version of locust from the side. You're gonna have your hands behind you, fingers interlaced. If that's not happening today, no problem, arms down by your sides. Try to keep your feet together as best you can. And you're just gonna try and lift your thighs and chest off the floor. Now, eventually the arms lift all the way up. It doesn't have to be today. Good, we're just gonna hold here for like a couple breaths. So press the hips down. Squeeze your butt. Shoulders away from the ears. Take one more slow inhale through the nose. Slow exhale through the nose. Good, and slowly lower down. As you're ready, you're just gonna roll off. Doesn't have to be fancy. You're gonna roll off to the side and lie down on your back. And we are on our back for the rest of class. For the rest of class, we're gonna do longer holds of posture, so more yin yoga, working into connective tissue. And for this, when we're lying on our back, we're gonna do this between every posture. It's called puddle pose. So you can have your arms and legs out, kind of relax like a puddle. In a lot of styles of yoga, we do like a savasana or a corpse pose that is pretty specific. So like in savasana, you'll have like your heels together, your toes fall open, arms are close to your sides, all that stuff. But for this pose, you can kind of have your arms and legs out. Let the floor hold you up. Maybe feel the body slowly softening a little bit more down to the floor. Noticing any passing thoughts. Letting them go with your breath. Okay, next we're gonna do everybody's favorite pose, banana pose. Picture, if you will, your favorite banana from a bird's eye view. Chiquita, Dole, Fair Trade, Trader Joe's, organic, grown in your own backyard, whatever works for you. So start with your feet together. Bring your arms over your head. Yoga doesn't have to be so serious. Bring your arms over your head. And then you're gonna make a banana shape with your body. So bring your feet to the right side of your mat and your hands to the right side of your mat. So from a bird's eye view, you're making like a C curve or a banana shape with the body. You can like have one hand on top of another. You can cross your feet or have them side by side. You can grab one wrist. And we're gonna hold here for 2 minutes. You can have your head on the floor looking up towards the ceiling, or drop your right ear down to the floor looking to the right side of the room. You can deepen the stretch by bringing your hands and feet closer to the right side of the room and pushing your hips further to the left side of your mat. Or you can like ease up by bringing everything closer to the center of the body. You can notice any tension, like in the shoulders, the chest, the belly, even in your like perineum area, any tension there, any tension in your butt or your thighs or your feet, just kind of relaxing. So in long holds of postures, we're trying to work into like connective tissue. In some ways, holding longer but doing less can actually be more therapeutic than like pushing yourself but only being able to hold it for 10 seconds, right? So kind of the theory here with longer holds. And again, notice if you're having trouble sitting still and just try to return your thoughts to your breath. But also notice like if you are being stubborn and keeping yourself in a position that doesn't feel good, like please adjust as you need to. Like you can wiggle out your butt or your shoulders or whatever that is for you. About 30 seconds left. You can stay right where you are, or if you'd like, knowing that the end is near, you can also get a little bit deeper, bringing hands and feet further to the right side of the room, pushing hips to the left. Good. All right. Take a slow inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, slowly return your body back to center. I'm going to exhale through my mouth and then bring your arms down by your sides, get in puddle pose. You can wiggle out your butt, your shoulders. If lying on your back is hurting your lower back, you are also welcome to like take a blanket or towel and roll it up a little bit under your lower back so there's extra support there. Okay, we'll do the other side. So again, bringing your arms over your head, feet together. And this time, bring your feet and your arms to the left side of your mat so the right side of your body gets a stretch. And you can cross one foot over the other. You can hold one hand in your wrist. You can keep your feet or hands side by side. Again, remembering we're not symmetrical. Maybe this feels quite unremarkable. Maybe it feels wildly different from the other side. And there's no right or wrong, just an opportunity to check in. It's also worth noting, like, hey, did you cross your right foot over your left foot on both sides? Very interesting. Why might that be? And the cool thing about yoga is as you do more postures, you might start to connect dots of like, the right side is easier on this posture, but then in this other posture, the left side is easier. Stuff like that. And then you can kind of start to see why that is. And again, you might know why that is, like an injury or something like that, but it could be like you had no idea that the way your desk is set up right now, that your head is tilted slightly to the left every day, right? And so things like that can happen too. And you can look up towards the ceiling or bring your left ear down to the floor, looking to the left side. Relax through your belly, chest, jaw. Breathing through the nose. We're about halfway there. If you need to go deeper, ease up, or wiggle out a little bit, please do so. Again, if something's not serving you, switch it up. Take a slow inhale through your nose. As you exhale, slowly return back to center. You can exhale through your mouth if it feels okay. Then returning to puddle pose, arms down by your sides. So sometimes the release from the posture is just as therapeutic as the posture itself. And you can like wiggle out your butt or your shoulders if you need to. Let your hands and feet get heavy. So in the postures, we're often like stretching one side of the body and contracting the other. So when you release out, everything kind of recalibrates. And often in yoga too, there's a blood flow thing where like one part of the body circulation is increasing to, and another part maybe you're cutting off a little bit of circulation. So when you release back to neutral, it's also really good for pushing blood through all parts of the body, especially when you breathe. It's highly oxygenated breath, right? So no lactic acid buildup. You can even visualize in your mind um, really oxygenated blood going through your whole body, kind of revitalizing, restoring the body. Okay, next we're gonna do reclining bound angle, which is basically like a butterfly pose on your back. So you're gonna bring your knees out to either side and then bend your feet in. So from a bird's eye view, your lower body looks a bit like a diamond. Couple things to keep in mind. To deepen the stretch, you can bring your heels closer to your crotch, closer to the center line of your body. You can also bring them further to the back of your mat to release the stretch. You can have pillows or like toilet paper rolls are also really great on either sides of your knees so that your knees don't drop all the way. And you can make those like bolsters or pillows as high as you want. Or you can also like put your hands on your thighs and press down to bring the knees even closer to the floor. And again, you can bring your heels closer to your body. That helps. And we're gonna hold here for 3 minutes. I will cue you halfway through so that you know. If you see me looking at my watch during class, I promise I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to time it correctly. Let your palms be heavy down by your sides. Have a nice long neck, shoulders away from the ears, chest open to the ceiling. Notice how you're breathing. And notice the sensations of your body, especially with longer holds. We want to err on the side of like less is more. So you want to go to like 70% of your body's capacity rather than like whole hog. And remember that because it is a longer posture, there is always an opportunity to like go deeper or ease up a little bit. If this feels quite intense for you, also notice if like thought formations or emotions are starting to bubble up. Some people say that like hip openers make you cry. You can like roll your eyes at that, or you can cry. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong. But just know that if you are starting to feel odd sensations, not just physically, but maybe like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that's really normal. For sure, we're releasing some tension here from the front of the body. And a lot of our emotional responses to things carry physical tension. So like if your boss yells at you, what do? You like tense your shoulders, right? So we're opening the shoulders here. You're just releasing that tension. We're about halfway through. If you need to like wiggle a little bit, if you need to use props, remove props, get deeper by bringing the heels closer to the body, or release more by bringing the feet closer to the back of your mat. It's up to you, whatever you need to do. And then we'll hold here in stillness and silence together. Okay, good. Take a slow inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, start to lengthen, straighten your legs. I'm going to exhale through my mouth. So returning to puddle pose, you might need to like windshield wiper your knees, legs right and left, or roll out your butt or your hips. And just returning to puddle pose, arms and legs down. Notice any sensations from the release. So sometimes, again, the release can be like more intense than the posture itself. In general, you want to breathe through your nose to calm this central nervous system, but sometimes like an exhale through the mouth can kind of let your body know that you're right there with it, right? It's a little intense. Okay, good. As you're ready, place your feet flat on the floor. So you're going to bend your knees up. And we're just going to give ourselves a gentle hug here. So hug your thighs into your chest. You can lift your head off the floor for a second if it feels good. Eventually, you'll grab your elbows. You don't have to grab your elbows today. You can place your right knee in your right hand, left knee in left hand, and squeeze knees, thighs together. You can also interlock fingers. You can grab your forearms, your wrists, eventually grabbing elbows, and then just squeeze everything in. You can rock side to side for a second. I like to keep my head on the floor so my neck is long. Shoulders away from the ears. Maybe puff up your chest a little bit. So eventually full spine flat on the floor. If you do have a hold like on your elbows or forearms, you can even press your shins into your forearms to roll the lower back onto the floor. Posture's lengthening the back. Hopefully it feels good to your lower back. That's also good for digestion. We're putting some pressure on the lower abdomen. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. Draw your belly button down towards the floor. Let's take 3 more slow breaths together. Every exhale, softening maybe vertebrae a little bit closer to the floor. Every inhale, opening through the rib cage. Think expansiveness in your chest. Every exhale, softening down. One slow inhale. Squeeze tight. Slow exhale. Good. We'll carefully, slowly reverse out. So even with the help of your hands, even can bring your feet back down to the floor. So bent knees, knees facing up. Take a moment here. And then as you're ready, slowly lowering your arms and legs back down by your sides for puddle pose. Picturing your spine getting longer. Shoulders, lower back getting softer. Our last active posture of the day is a spine twist. So we'll do 2 sides. And I'll give you a couple of variations. So start once again by bending your legs so your feet are on the floor. Let your knees rest against each other. From here, you can bring your arms out to the sides, or you can cactus the arms like goalposts, elbows in line with the shoulders. Okay, from here, knees, feet together. You're gonna roll your knees to the right side of your mat for a spine twist. Couple variations. You can keep your head on the floor looking up towards the ceiling. You can look to the left side of the room, left shoulder or left ear on the floor. Try to keep two shoulders on the floor. You can also keep your left knee bent just as it is, but that right knee, the knee underneath, you can start to bring to the left side of the room. And you're gonna try and catch your right foot with your left hand for, it's called like cat chasing or cat catching its own tail, which is kind of funny. So think of your right leg like a tail if you're a cat. You are welcome to have pillows underneath your knees if they are way far away from the floor and it does not feel comfortable. Again, you can have pillows or towels to the right side of your mat, underneath your knees. And we'll hold here for like 2 minutes. Fun. If you're doing the catch with the right foot and the right hand and it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If you don't feel much with your two knees bent, maybe go deeper. Notice if one shoulder is higher than the other. Try to keep the left shoulder on the floor. Let your palms get really heavy, almost like you have lacrosse balls in each hand. Notice what you're thinking about and let it go through your exhale breath. Take a slow inhale through your nose and a slow exhale through your nose. About 10 more seconds. You can go a little deeper or ease up. Okay, and to carefully, slowly reverse out. If you have your right foot in your left hand, release the foot, bring your knees back together. If you're looking to the left side of the room, roll your head back to center. To bring the knees back towards the ceiling, you're welcome to use one or both hands on your thighs and slowly roll yourself back up. So both hips, shoulders on the floor, knees facing the ceiling, feet on the floor. Take a moment, let your knees rest together. And then slowly lower your legs back down, arms down by your side, puddle pose. Again, you can roll out your butt and your shoulders if you want. Let your neck be long, jaw soft. And we'll do the other side. So again, bend your legs up. So feet on the floor, let your knees rest together for a second. Maybe let the lower back lengthen. You can have your arms out to either sides, perpendicular to the body, or bend the arms up, cactus them like goalposts. Bring your knees, feet together, and this time, roll your knees to the left side of your mat. Try to keep right shoulder on the floor. Again, you can have pillows or towels under your knees or between your knees. You can keep the legs stacked one on the other, or you can slide your left leg to the right and maybe catch your left foot in your right hand. You can look up to the ceiling or look to the right side of the room for a neck stretch, right ear close to the floor. We'll hold here for 2 minutes. Again, what worked on one side might not work on this side. And if you've done this posture a bajillion times, maybe this time it doesn't work the way that it did the other bajillion times, right? And that's okay. So I think especially these days, sometimes it can feel like we're in Groundhog's Day. But yoga is a nice reminder that like we're definitely not repeating exactly the same every day, right? Every day feels a little bit different when we move the body. Every day feels a little bit different when we center our mind. So through yoga, we learn a little bit of Jedi mind tricks, learning to control the mind rather than having the mind control us. Again, as the mind starts to wander, just notice what you're thinking about and then like gently let that thought go, returning your thoughts to your breath. Take a slow inhale through your nose, the slow exhale through your nose. A little over halfway through, and you can deepen the stretch. You can wiggle out a little bit. You can ease up by placing props under your knees and adjust your arms. Through yoga, we learn a little bit more how to like trust our intuition. So that's why maybe like if you've been in a yoga class and you've like rolled your eyes or like laughed at the teacher, like that's not a bad thing, right? We're just like trusting that it feels like a little bit cheesy or not right for us. Also remembering that sometimes something that doesn't speak to you might speak to somebody else. So there's a little bit of a group element there. But if something ever doesn't feel right, not just physically, but like if what I said, makes you laugh or you think it's dumb, like that's fine too. You're just trusting yourself a little bit more. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. And to reverse out, if you caught your left foot with your right hand, let that go, bring your knees, feet back together. If you're looking to the right side of the room, roll your head back to center. And then to slowly, carefully reverse out, you're welcome to use your hands, placing hands on the thighs and carefully with controlling, rolling back to center. So take a moment here with your knees bent, let your knees relax into each other, feet on the floor, arms down by your sides. And then when you're ready, releasing your legs back down to puddle pose. So we'll finish here in final savasana or final puddle pose. Again, you can roll out your hips, your butt, your back. Take a moment to really thank yourself for practicing today. Maybe it doesn't feel like much. Maybe it feels like a lot. Maybe it doesn't feel like much, but you took time out of your busy schedule to show up for yourself. When we show up for ourselves, it's like a lot easier to show up for other people, right? So good for you. You took time to notice, to check in, and hopefully you took some time to step away from judgment. So even if something was hard for you or like nearly impossible, you don't judge that, right? You just notice and move on. Take a slow inhale through your nose and a slow exhale through your nose. Picture yourself in perfect, radiant health. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Picture yourself in perfect, radiant health. One more time. Slow inhale through your nose. As you exhale this time, letting go of anything that no longer serves you, give yourself permission to let go. And picture yourself in perfect, radiant health. You are welcome to stay in puddle pose or savasana for as long as you want. Thank you guys all so much for joining. What a delight. I love you all. Thanks again for coming. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to do a class like this every Tuesday. If there's certain postures you love or parts of the body that you want worked on, please also let me know and I will incorporate that.